there's still a giant wild card. And that's what we need to find out with this Browns team. What are they going to be with Deshaun Watson at quarterback? Because he's dragging them down.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with the Browns before we start with the Cowboys.
Sure. I'm trying to be positive. You're negative.
You just threw it to me with the Browns everybody.
Right.
But I mean, I hear you. I think the big thing is, hey, it's 2 games in a row. We've seen last year's best defense in football just get absolutely torn apart, right? They have a problem with teams from the state of Texas, obviously, because the Texans destroyed them in the wild card game, and Dallas had a good game plan yesterday for Jim Schwartz and all the craziness in which he does. You know, they knew how to protect some of the blitzes. With all the blitzes, they had nice little route combinations because Cleveland does some advanced stuff. They'll blitz everybody, and it'll look like man-to-man, and they still find ways to pass it off and play zone and do some crazy stuff. Dallas was all over it. So that's a little scary, and people are going to have studied Cleveland and everything they did. So maybe people have caught up. Then you get into, hey, they're missing their starting 2 tackles yesterday, and that's tough against Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, who are in the backfield. And then, unlike the Cowboys, who got really, more from their investment in Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb yesterday than the Browns have gotten in the whole Deshaun Watson era, period. Listen, Deshaun Watson, I don't know what to say. The magic is gone. The person we saw, like you said, in 2020 and 2019, where he was undoubtedly like a top 5 quarterback in football, that no longer exists. Those years of not playing football, everybody looking at him weird now because of what happened to him, it has obviously affected him. There's no magic in Deshaun Watson's game. Nothing. And what's even more concerning, I think, on top of that for me as an ex-quarterback is the way they call the game. They call the game as in if they don't really trust him, almost like there's training wheels on still. And that is like they didn't want to just go, hey, we're losing, they're beating us. Let's just get in the shotgun and let Deshaun just carry us a little bit. That's not even an option for them anymore because I think they're afraid, like, if we do that, he'll throw 5 interceptions and he'll miss throws everywhere. His throwing's not good. He's not as athletic as he used to be. And I'll say it, and I know you agree with this because we've talked about this before. The magic look in his eye is gone. Where I used to be like, oh, they're down by 10, but Deshaun's still, he's feeling it still. It ain't over yet. I haven't seen that since Houston, and I don't know if we're ever going to see it. So right now it's going down as the worst contract in the history of the NFL. Period. There is no doubt.
And trade. Because they didn't just sign him as a free agent.
Right.
They gave up 3 first-round picks and 3 other picks, and they got a mid-round pick back. And when and how do you ever get that lawnmower to start? Because you're right. Whatever it was, whether it was all the scrutiny publicly, the embarrassment of the allegations that were made against him, very strong, and the kind of thing that will cause everyone to think of someone differently for the rest of their lives.
Every time you walk in a room,
all
there's
that
a group
stuff's
of people
out there.
Right.
All those graphic details of allegations of sexual misconduct and a predator allegedly, and going to Instagram to find massages wherever he could with this vague understanding, allegation that he was looking for something more than that. Right. I mean, how do you ever get past that? And then you throw on top of it the fact that he didn't play in 2021. He was dealing with the league. He got suspended. The embarrassment got compounded. And at some point along the way, he just lost his confidence. I think that's what it is. When you lose your confidence and you have limited opportunities to try to get it back, you feel like you're kind of in quicksand.
Right. And then he hasn't got that many opportunities because he can't play and stay out there.
And it snowballs. I'm trying to think of the right metaphor here, but it just like, oh, come on, I have to. And you get to a point where you just give up. I almost feel like he's just given up. And he's just hanging on. They owe him the balance of $46 million this year, $46 million next year, $46 million the year after it. My main objective at that point would be keep out of any trouble whatsoever, give them no reason to void my guarantees. Because there was a point last year where, maybe no, we're not trying to do that. But if he would, I guarantee you at this point, if he would get suspended for something during anything that they could do to say we're flushing those guarantees, they would. They'd move on. If they could dump him right now, they would. They're
saying all the right things. We know that. I feel bad for Kevin Stefanski. He's always got to kind of talk positive and, hey, he's great and all of that. But, yeah, they can't feel warm and cozy about what they look like and Deshaun looks like at quarterback right now.
Our guy Gary is pointing out that we may want to watch carefully and listen carefully to Deshaun Watson from after the game.
Cool, I didn't see
talking
this yet.
about the poor offense and the lack of work that he had in the preseason as he continued to recover from the shoulder injury that limited him to 6 games last year. Here he is from yesterday.
Yeah, we not the type of people to make excuses. So, some people can say that contribute a lot. My injury, guys missing time. But at the end of the day, once you're on the field, you just gotta, you gotta perform. You gotta execute. And we didn't do that overall, and it showed.
He really. The spark is gone.
It's been gone. And I thought maybe he'd get it back last year, and he never really got the chance to get going, get in a rhythm, and then he got hurt just as he kind of felt like, oh, he's starting to maybe
They had that game
better.
in Baltimore. They
Right.
beat him in Baltimore, and
Right.
then that was when we found out he had the shoulder, the fracture, and whatever. He was done.
But the magic, the charisma, whatever, you're right. I don't think it's there. Can they regain it? I hope so. Can he regain it? I don't know. But it's going to be like what you said. It's got to be a string of games of good and, oh, that was real good. And, oh, all of a sudden it's a great game. And then maybe that can reignite that look in his eye and that play. But as it is right now, the throwing is average. The playmaking, backyard extending plays is average. It's nowhere near what we used to see. And they got physically whooped yesterday. That's for sure.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.